Hey, welcome everyone. Look at this. We're incrementally adding people to the chat. The chat grows. Yeah. Just hello, welcome everyone to the Tech Audio Chat. My name is Dan Reynolds. I am joined by awesome people: Eric Buckles, Patrick Hart, Aaron McLeran, David Weaver. Unfortunately, the legend himself, Max Hayes, was unable to join us. So Brian Fuller will have to chill out on the quartz questions. Yeah.
We should get Brian on here.
We should. Yeah, that'd be awesome. I usually don't. I'm hesitant to reach out to people who have their own YouTube channel. Just
don't you want to do cross promotions?
Oh, I'm happy to do that. I just usually. I think Brian's got more subscribers than I do, so I don't want to look like someone who's trying to angle in on his awesome following.
Nah, Brian's killing it. I mean, he if anyone in the chat hasn't checked out his YouTube channel, he's definitely doing a whole bunch of really great content about UE and meta sounds, and has been doing it for a long time. Oh, that's it. Aaron's
done. Aaron's gone. All right.
He's gone to check out the channel, I guess.
It's like an Agatha Christie novel here. We'll see who's left at the end of the stream. Check out Brian Michael Fuller, and ask him, when is it Fuller time? Welcome back, Aaron.
Apparently, I've got a terrible connection here. I'm actually connected to this through Discord.
That's weird. That's weird.
Yeah, very weird.
Yeah. The system we're using recommends to use Chrome or Edge, believe it or not.
But if we're on Firefox.
But if you click on it while you're on an iOS, it says to use Safari.
That's because it's an iPhone. It's always going to recommend
why I'm on iPhone right this second.
I feel like it would just recommend Safari for whatever you try and do on a phone. It's just like I see you trying to take a photo. Have you tried Safari? Maybe.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. So we have a really interesting stream tonight. Very complicated setup. Aaron's on his phone because it's the only way, because his computer is otherwise occupied with what we're going to be doing. And Patrick and Aaron are connected right now through Zoom, and they're going to be performing live together across state boundaries. So we've got all the people connecting to this streaming thing, and on the side, Patrick and Aaron are connected via Zoom. So we got this really interesting triangle thing going on, and should be really interesting. Is there anything else? I don't think there's anything else that we wanted to
I mean, do you want to go into more detail about how this insane thing is going to work, or do you want to do it after?
I think it might be better to do it afterward, just in case something horrible happens and we have to revise how we describe it. Otherwise, it's just optimistic if we.
It's not very optimistic.
Right? Huh?
So ChatGPT recommended 3 names, and I'm going to put this off to the community, and then maybe whoever's watching can vote on the 3 names. So 3 names are: 1, Unreal Bodies. Second name is Factory Settings. And then the other name is The System Will Not Save You.
Wow. Okay. So my recommendation is, I'll add this as a 4th human recommendation, is Zygomagicus.
Oh, Jesus. Okay.
Because the zygomatic muscle is related to facial expressions.
Someone said get closer to the camera. Is this better?
Yeah, how's that, chat? Is that working for you?
You're right. We really would take over if we were on TikTok. I could see it.
Yeah. Right. So before we begin, again, I'm gonna screw this up. Anyway, so when I tech audio, I get thirsty. No, hold on, that's not right. Tech audio is thirsty work. And when I'm thirsty, I reach for Seattle's premium source for tea and tea accessories, the Perennial Tea Room, located in downtown Seattle's Pike Place, in one of those side alleys. I forget what it's called. It's like a side alley. I don't know. It's like you're walking down the street and you're like, "This is an alley. This is a
I've
shortcut."
totally
No,
been
there's
there,
a bunch
Dan.
of shops there.
Dude, that place is awesome.
Yes,
totally
and
been
it's
there.
for tea. Okay,
Yeah,
yes.
Tea accessories.
So no, yeah. So hold on a second. Okay, yeah. So you should too, and tell them Dan sent you, and
I'm
wink
going there next week.
10%
and
off. your
provide
order.
no further context. Do not tell them about the stream. Don't tell them anything. Just say Dan sent you, and that's it. That's it.
And then what do you
And
get?
pay full price, and tip them because they're awesome. This is not a paid endorsement. I just think it's funny. But it is. But I do like their tea. I probably spend like $500 a year there. So yes,
and then you hope to maybe get a sponsorship if a bunch of people show up.
I don't. It's complicated. The whole YouTube thing is complicated with sponsorships. I think it's funny if you just say Dan sent me, and that's it.
All right. Well, that's cool, man.
Yeah.
I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, there you go. There you go. The Perennial Tea Room.
Sponsored by the Perennial Tea Room, allegedly, but not really.
But not really.
I like the idea of we're just gonna meme this group of individuals, and then they're just gonna have like, yeah, we got a lot of audio people showing up. They're also sound people in this place.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. So now I was practicing that, and it was not smooth, but
I think
that's why people do teleprompters. All right. Do y'all want to try to see if we can achieve this thing that we wanted to achieve, and
then I can switch to my computer and more comfortably talk with people.
Yeah, that's a good idea. So everyone, how are we? We've got 9 people. That's all right. Strap in, buckle up, buckle in, buckles in. Yeah, manifesting. Okay, I'm gonna switch over. Are you streaming?
It theoretically is streaming, is it? Do you have it?
Yeah. Okay. So in just a second, we're loading up the stream. We've got a stream coming in. I don't know what the latency is gonna be like. Just bear with us, everyone. There's gonna be like 15 to 30 seconds of latency. And yeah, okay. Now I'm gonna mute Aaron, I'm gonna mute you, and Patrick, I'll mute you.
Should we say briefly that it is for trumpet, and there's typing that controls.
Oh yeah, we probably should have said it. Yeah. So Aaron will be performing on trumpet, and we're streaming from Aaron's computer, and Patrick is controlling Aaron's computer from another city and typing, and the typing is part of it. So it's an interaction between human and machine and sound and human. And yeah, cool. All right, now I'm muting you, Patrick.
Well, I will rejoin.
Oh my god, that was so cool. Oh, that is so sick.
That was crazy.
That is so good.
Yeah, that was
There, it's
awesome.
gone.
Yeah, no, he's reconnecting on his computer. So.
Round of applause.
Yeah,
That is wild. That it's just that's so inspiring. It's great to see. So there's so much playfulness there, and yeah, that's just beautiful. I really, really, really enjoyed that.
It's crazy that it's all done live. You know, like every one of those animation twitches and all that. It's like based on what you guys are doing, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah, so I think that's actually a really good point, Eric. We'll wait for Aaron to sort of get his mic levels set up again.
Oh.
Oh yeah. I'm
you gotta switch over to your other profile or whatever.
Testing. Can you hear me better?
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
Oh, finally, the echo is gone.
Dude, I had no idea if that was working. I figured you would have unmuted and said, "Hey, this isn't working." I just kept going.
Yeah,
it worked great.
I had no idea if it was working.
It was awesome.
This was a hilarious mishmash of remote.
It was like, from my perspective, pure chaos. I was like, just go for it.
I felt like the last section you weren't getting the chords as much. Maybe
the chords dropped off a bit. I don't know why.
It's quiet time at the house. I don't know. It was a little too quiet.
So
it's like
improvising with the bugs too. You know, you're like, what the fuck, this isn't actually working, but fuck it, it sounds kind of cool. Kind of like the silence. It's okay, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's y'all. People don't know how it works yet, so they don't even know how the chords happen.
It's 100% totally random and improvised. Like Patrick and I are truly like listening and responding to each other.
Actually doing that together. Yeah. As far as how is the latency, it's not bad because it's on Zoom. It is. So we had the weird thing is that on the stream, I could see it coming in and it's like 5 to 10 seconds late from what we're doing. But we had this separate Zoom call going where we could hear it. And it's more like it's not like we're trying to play together. It's more like because it's generating stuff procedurally that's still in time. So the timing stuff works out. It's a little weird for me to anticipate the chord changes because I have to just kind of think about that's a good one. When you're gonna change stuff, because I am changing the. Oh man, I don't know. Where do we start? But I was changing the chord progressions and stuff in the last one while you're playing over it. So it's
But you were triggering chords, but you weren't directly controlling the chords. Right.
Just cueing the next chord in a predetermined chord progression. That's true. So
maybe we could start with what are the inputs on both ends in terms of what either it's keystrokes or it's MIDI controllers or what's the approach. Obviously, we know Aaron's playing trumpet, and I assume that's all your
technically flugelhorn or not flugelhorn, a cornet. I was
cornet
playing a cornet this time.
Beautiful.
For people at home, just so you know, I wasn't a trumpet.
Yeah,
you know,
get it right.
Cornets are a little bit warmer toned than trumpets, which I like. It's like a crossfade between a flugelhorn and a trumpet.
Yeah. I guess one thing is the reason this exists is because we went to Santa Barbara earlier this spring and did a little seminar for some students there, and we wanted to do some kind of live performance. We thought that would make it easier to talk to some students. And so the idea was okay, Eric can play trumpet and we'll do some stuff with the trumpet. And so I made project and then sent it to Aaron, and we sent it back and forth, and then we got together here in Los Angeles and worked on it together for a day, and this is what came out of it. So the general concept is like okay, we want to keep it small, so and the oh wow, there's me. Thanks, Dan. So we want to keep the setup small, and then there's some like kind of natural latency stuff, like kind of do some interesting procedural stuff that is also kind of driven by the trumpet. So so I'm typing on a keyboard. What comes with their computer, keyboard. So that was easy. And then for the trumpet, we got 2 microphones set up. And so the 2 microphones are, and I'll pull up the project in a minute, are driving 2 different procedural scenes. So we're basically just running an envelope follower on each trumpet microphone. And then those are being interpolated. So there's like a slow, medium, and a fast knob that it can basically turn from the live trumpet input. So Aaron can kind of like, that way he can like play a chord. So I don't have to do anything in some parts, and he can just play a chord or play a note, and then that can turn up the volume on a chord, or
which by the way is, as a performer,
rhythm and stuff.
It's freaking awesome to like be able to, as a soloist, to kind of like control the gestures of the chords, and I can decide if I take a break and then I play again, another chord comes up, and I can kind of control that. And I don't know what chord's going to happen next, so I'm using my ear to figure it out, you know? And that's simple. I want to say it's a simple thing, but really powerful from an improvisational performance perspective.
Are you doing like on the fly resolutions if like you're like
absolutely.
out of, if you got
100%. Yeah. It's absolutely. In fact, Patrick, we never actually verbalized this. We end it when it feels somewhat resolved, like, because it's hard. How do you end it? It's like the chords are endless. And Patrick and I there's a point at which I can tell he and I are like we're kind of resolving it, and then we're like, it's good enough, it's done. You know, it's like, but it's like, is the next chord going to resolve? Is the next one? And sometimes it's like, let's end it on an unresolved chord, because that's cool too, you know.
Yeah.
So it's kind of, you got to kind of flow with it. You have to be comfortable with the chaos. But sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, Patrick. But
no.
That aspect is a fun performative thing.
Yeah. So that was kind of like the general concept is like, all right, we're going to have some procedural stuff. Aaron can turn knobs, virtual knobs with his trumpet. I can type stuff and make sounds. And then the MetaHuman thing was just like, I can do this with a MetaHuman. We're definitely going to do this. Aaron, is this too weird? No? Okay, great.
No, I was like, make it more weird. You know, like there was I was like, let's dial the weirdness up. When we were in his studio Sunday, it was like probably one of the most fun times I've had collaborating with somebody, by the way, Patrick. It was like, you had 3 kind of scenes. The first one you had kind of worked out, and it was like really chaotic, and you had no idea. By the way, he had no idea what I was going to do with trumpet. And I was like, how about on the first one, I just do fucking noise on trumpet, like just crazy noise, which worked well with the face because it was like, you know, it's like, and this time it was a little bit less intense than other times we'd performed it. I don't know. It's like the levels, the things are always different every time, but the idea of like, I was doing like extended techniques on trumpet with the sort of like trying to make multiphonics and shit, but making it sound really fucked up. And I was playing really close to the mic, intentionally trying to get that distorted sound, you know. And then the eyes of the MetaHuman, while I was performing in his studio, it was like, what the fuck is happening? It was like the whole day we just kept going like, this is like a train wreck that we're witnessing, you know. Like, in other words, like you can't look away. You're like, what is happening? It's like compelling because of the human face, you know. Can you go back to the group, because I want to look at Patrick's face. So I don't want to look at my face all day. But I was gonna say is the second one was less developed. That one we did more of a nice collaboration on, and then the third one was like, in my opinion, is my favorite. It's like, I don't know what to call it. It's a new genre of jazz. It's like glitch hop jazz or something. I don't know what the fuck you can call it, but it has this like sort of diatonic jazz progression thing, and I decided to kind of go the smooth jazz thing. Like playing like nice comfortable chords, then you hear like, and I love that like kind of contrast of like,
it's a good juxtaposition.
Yeah, the juxtaposition of like really diatonic. It's a D or C major, really simple,
stuff, but then really interesting, chords and resolutions, and then what the other aspect of it that somebody at Unreal Fest asked is like, is it doing pitch tracking? It's like, no, and thank God, because the fact that it's not doing pitch tracking means that I can go out of the key and it stays in the key, and I can then resolve it back in, and it's not like following it. Like, let me be wild and crazy with the tonality, but let it keep being diatonic, which keeps it grounded and making it feel like music, But I have freedom as a performer to do whatever the fuck. And by the way, the 2 mic thing is fun because I can kind of go back and forth. They have different effects, and so I can like play on one mic, and it goes into the project and does crazy stuff, and then I go to the other one, and you'll hear other effects and stuff. So you can kind of play off of it in fun ways that are different. You kind of feel like, oh, I want to do this, I want to do that, It as a performer,
developed
really
it
fun.
Pretty well, I think.
What?
the two separate mics. I think we did, well. I think we got the 2 mics. The 2 mics do different stuff. I think the 3 interpolations was like a little ambitious.
What interval are you talking about?
Oh, just the fact that there's like a fast interpolation, a medium interpolation, a slow interpolation on each one, and they're all supposed to do different stuff that you can see, kind of. But
yeah, he had
didn't quite come together.
If you watch it again, if you go back, you'll see 3 meters going, which is actually useful for me as a performer to see, is it picking up the mic, and kind of see the things, like, and I can kind of see, oh, I need to go a little bit closer to the mic, I'm a little bit further away, and I do that on purpose sometimes too. I don't want it to be always straight on the thing, but having that feedback on the screen is really useful, also for the audience to know, like, it's real metering, I think it worked. We literally spent 5 seconds calibrating right before this because I showed up late.
Yeah, that's.
So I think the levels weren't exactly right, but whatever. It's close.
Whatever.
It's close enough for jazz. Fuck it.
It's close enough for jazz.
So they just to understand the 3 interpolations. Those are like how fast the value responds to, like, as envelope, like 3 different envelope followers at like different attack
different
speeds. It's one envelope follower, and then I'm just interpolating 3 times at different speeds.
Okay.
It's kind of the same.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. I gotcha. Yeah. So because that sounds like it would be one of those situations where the levels on your mic would have like a pretty important influence on like the the responsiveness, I guess, of those 3. Interesting. That's kind of cool though. That's different,
The second one, I want to tell the story of the second one because Patrick was like, I don't know what to do with this one. I kind of started it. The fun idea in that one was to make the thing obscured, the face, right? So you can kind of see like a black cloud over the face. And I'm not really great at Niagara, but I was like, can we just make black Niagara particles, like, which is counterintuitive, like to make a particle you can't see, I was like, let's just make thick ribbon black particles. And then the idea was when the envelope follows in, it kind of like unobscures the face. And the idea is every time, so it'd be like, and there was like a really cool noise sound that Patrick and I worked on together, and it would go, and then when I start playing notes, it would go.
Like, we're sound designers.
Yeah. It would go.
Let's get a paper bag.
Yeah. No, it was fun.
Great.
That was fun. It was a cool little, like, a gurgle sound, like. And then, but then the idea though is that the face should every time will reveal like a slowly moving, fucked up distortion. So like, I'm sure Anyways, that one was fun because it was more. It was less developed when I showed up, so it was more worked on while we were there.
Yeah,
it was a lot of fun. Did you want to show the project?
At any point, I could show the project. That is true.
Any other questions that people have in there?
Let me see. We've got, some people are starting. There's like a side conversation about pitch tracking. Like, how do you do it?
Glitch Noir is a great name. Glitch Noir.
Glitch Noir.
Yeah, we've got glitch. We also got Neuro Jazz Step Core, which is
surprisingly kind of
yeah, sure.
But
I think we're someone was asking if we were using audio movers. That'd be very sophisticated. Oh,
Audio movers.
We got
Oh, jeez.
yeah.
Patrick.
It's the
Patrick, you
second
gotta-
performance of the night.
On your second computer, you need to mute the people.
Mute.
No one's. By the way, no one else besides us is noticing this
Oh, really?
because
Right.
the screen has not been shared on the, on the
there you go.
stage yet.
So it's just like a mini performance just for us.
Yeah, that's right.
We're all of a sudden hearing like
That's
double talk.
right.
And everyone's like, "What? What are they talking
What's
about?"
going on?
Can you mute that computer somehow? I don't understand. I just don't have a microphone on this computer. I don't.
Oh,
Sorry. We'll try it again. Mute. How's this?
There you
I
go.
think that should be fine.
work.
We'll
Good?
see.
Okay.
Yep, we'll see.
Cool.
You're gonna flip to his computer. There we go. Look at that.
Yeah,
Look at that.
This Emux thing is like magic stuff.
it is magic. Yeah,
It's kind of amazing.
cool. So, do you want to deep dive on this, or was there something you want to preface about before we get into this? But
I'm happy to look at any part of this project that anybody wants to look at. Totally. I can explain a little bit about like what's going on. It's super basic. It's very thrown together at the last minute in a lot of respects. So it's not the cleanest project of all time. But
I like
most
David's
respects.
approach. I think it'd be cool to look at things from the input and then sort of branch out from there. I think maybe
from the input,
yeah,
Cool.
that might be a good way to sort of approach
For the keyboard or the
either
mic
one.
input.
Yeah.
yeah, there's two. Here's the scene, by the way. It's just a head. Real basic. And then I have two blueprints. I have an audio interpolation. This is like for the trumpet and the live input, and then the typing controller, and that's for the typing. So, and then just some cameras and some lights and
a
stuff.
lot of cameras. Look at all the
lot of-
It's just a
Yeah.
couple of cameras. Yeah.
it's like a
My little
it's like
camera.
a freaking press
Press conference.
And,
press conference.
for our little head, our poor little head. So this is for the live stuff coming in, and basically just this is Aaron's submix, and we're envelope following on the submix, and then the where's the tick, and then on tick I'm just creating the like fast, slow. So this is like the raw. This is our envelope values, and I'm storing the raw input, and then I'm interpolating it with a speed of 12 for the fast thing, and speed of whatever, just different interp values for the different things. So I can show you real fast,
but real quick, I'm sort of curious.
Yeah.
Oh,
Hit me.
is there a specific reason you went with the submix? Is it like you wanted like a post effects kind of sound that you're measuring the amplitude off of, or was it just like it was there and I just grabbed that situation?
Why did I use the submix instead of a bus?
Yeah, like you could do an audio bus. Like for example, on our live when Aaron and I and Mary Claire did the live thing at Game SoundCon, that's kind of the approach I took, was like sending the mic component directly to an audio bus. But I was also injecting the data directly into MetaSounds, so that might have been.
I don't know. I don't remember.
Yeah,
I am
fine.
sending it to a bus because I'm doing some stuff. I think there's one of the scenes going through a grain delay in a MetaSound,
Sure.
so I'm writing it to a bus there. I don't think that there's anything on this submix because I put some compression as a source effect. So I don't know. Is there a reason to do it on a bus rather than a submix?
I would say you could, for the submix, depending on where you do the envelope following, you can get compression. It looks like you have a compressor
Right.
on it. So you can maybe massage the microphone audio before you envelope follow, which would be a good argument. You could do, I guess.
Yeah, I think we specifically wanted to do it before the envelope follow, which is why we did this source effect, because I never use source effects. Real talk. So,
But
So you also have a source.
Sorry.
I just wanted to understand. You also have a source effect chain on the input, on the mic component input?
on the mic input, yeah, a compression
Okay.
effect. I think this is just some kind of desperate leveling
Yeah, that makes sense.
that we were doing in a rush. But
Do you have an effect on the submix?
no, there's nothing on the submix.
Okay,
So,
interesting. All right.
yeah. Anyways,
There's so many ways to skin a cat, Dan.
Well, yeah, and so that's when so like for example,
Unreal
if you
Engine
walk
is
into a room and someone you see someone you know skinning a cat, you're like, why did you do that?
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, but look how many ways I can do it. And you're like, yeah, that's cool, but
It's still
Why?
violent. Why are you skinning cats?
so the output of all of these envelope followers
Messed up
is really just a float for each of them, right?
it's just a float. You got an array. So this is the channel 1, channel 2. And I'm storing these in an array of, which is just going to be 2 floats. So I have the raw and the fast and the medium here. I can show you real fast how this like looks. So I have a little debug mode, which has these little sliders to simulate the thing. And so, I think I have to go into scene 1. Yeah. So you can see.
Nice.
Eventually,
yeah.
I'm going to have to turn the audio back on, which I don't know how that's going to work on our stream. But anyways, you can see there the interpolation. So channel 1, channel 2. So the fast, medium, and slow. So in theory, like, Aaron can like be like, wah, and then see the slow one kind of falls down slowly. So in a couple of places, there's like a big trumpet note, and then you'll hear some effect, or once he plays a long note, then it'll gradually fade in or whatever. So
this one, the way I was trying to play it is on the left. Keep that up. When I was on the left, it was when I do the noise, and it would drive it up, and it would be with all these crazy effects and shit. And then I would stop, and it would shove. And then I'm trying to play a simple tone on the right where the face is calm, and it's just like light, That was what I was trying to do. So I'd be like, and then trying to do those sort of gestural contrasts. That's what I was trying to do. I don't know if it really worked, but that's the idea.
And there's some flashing meters on the corners of the screen. What are those about? The blue and green lines?
Yeah, these are just a neat little shader. Let me pull it up because it's kind of.
There's a term for it. You told me the term for it. What's it called?
A FUI, the futuristic user interface. Wait, where's the?
Instead of UI, it's FUI.
That's so good.
Yeah.
That's a term of art, is what Patrick was saying. Is that it's like Patrick?
Yeah, it's like a thing for like movies and stuff.
Yeah. Patrick used to
like
be a
looks
graphic
realistic.
designer. Yeah.
Did I used to be a graphic designer? I don't know if I was.
Or you still are a graphic designer.
Here. Oh yeah, here's my little material instance.
Just the meaning of graphic has changed since then.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyways, this is my fun little material. Sorry, this is tech audio, I know, but
No, yeah,
it's
go
super
in
basic.
there. Go in there.
Super basic. There's these weird textures that are just in the
That's
engine.
kind of cool, actually.
But it looks kind of tight, right? So
Yeah, that's really interesting.
it just sits there and like looks like it's doing something interesting. It's like I gotta ask about those little light up things, but it's just
people ask him about that a lot. They're like, "How do you do that?"
Anyways,
Well, I think it sells the effect though. Like whether the effect is complex in the delivery, it's about the effect it has, which where how you're choosing to play it, Aaron, like left and right channel using different dimensions of noise or distortion, like that doesn't need to be explicit, but showing some of the like the futuristic UI stuff is I feel like it actually helps sell the effect because it's supposed to be about many parameters coming together. Whether or not it's doing anything is really about showing you that there's something happening, which I think is effective.
Yeah.
I also think it sells the idea that this is some kind of the bald human who's inhuman, kind of
definitely.
thing with the tech and the obviously crazy distorted faces and the numbers in the lower right and all and there's a thing on the lower left you can see this sort of obscure circles that means something. That's the magnitude of how much the face gets distorted, which he can control during the performance.
That's a good one. If it's all on the side, it's super messed up, and
but it all communicates like high tech and human extension and distortion and
Some
AI.
weird Philip K. Dick
yeah, exactly.
jazz future.
Totally. Jazz future. It's like in the future, AI will make jazz. This is what it
Jazz
sound like.
It'll be
Except-
the reverse engineer of this project. It'll just
Yeah.
be an AI face whose expressions then generate tones.
It's really actually a 1980s vision of what what AI jazz would be like, but we now know what AI jazz is actually like, and it's
There
like,
is a kind of like
nothing-
Max
it's not
Headroom
interesting.
callback feel to having that head there and glitch out.
yeah, exactly. Max
Does that
Headroom,
date me?
totally.
Does everyone know who Max Headroom is?
Not really.
Y'all can Google that on your own.
Maybe we could call this minimum headroom.
Min headroom.
Yeah, we didn't do
Not
the
bad,
you know
not
we
bad.
didn't we
Now
didn't do
that
the
you've seen
vote
it, what do we
on
name
the
it? What do we name it?
on the like name.
Factory settings.
Factors.
I'm telling you,
It's pretty good.
Zygo Magicus.
Zygo Magica.
That's my. I'm just gonna call it that anyway.
Yeah, whether or not it's. I love that. It just by virtue of your like strong will, it'll just be called that.
Like, yeah, I wish, but that's what it is. That's the name of it. So
So, I want you, Patrick, to show, because it's my favorite part, is your meta sound for the chords.
Yeah, totally. Basically, real fast, like once we have the interpolated values, every tick, I'm just calling them on the meta sounds that are active for the project. So and then they go in control parameters. So I wanted it to be really like the meta sound does as much stuff as possible, and I'm just sending it these values. So let me pull up.
So real quick though, for noobs maybe watching, if you go back to that blueprint, just want to explain how easy it is to like set meta sound parameters. This sort of set float parameter, the probability, medium, etc. Those are all meta sound inputs. And so in Blueprint, he can arbitrarily control any of the data in a very regular logic, and you can do anything that you could possibly want as an input into the meta sound. A lot of people want like arbitrary scripting into meta sounds, and it's like just do it in Blueprint and then set it in a parameter. There's downsides to that, but meta sounds isn't great for doing arbitrary logic.
So as Aaron is playing the trumpet, we're using an envelope follower, and it's just turning this knob, and this knob is doing stuff.
So Patrick, if you want to share the sound, I think the trick is for you to disable the output of EVMux on that computer.
Oh, I see.
I think that's what we did last night.
Is it still working? Because I can do.
We're not hearing anything.
We are not hearing it.
We don't hear it.
Did make sure that make sure that oh no, you hold on, it's muted there.
It's muted.
Yeah, we heard that.
Wow.
We heard that.
Is that a little hot?
It's a little strong. It's a little spicy.
Unclear if I can do anything about it.
You could just reduce the volume of the meta sound.
The source,
or just the Apple Unreal Engine.
It's already at 0.75, Dan.
Go to your OS mixer and turn down Unreal Engine.
Yeah, that's you can do
just
that.
open Safari and look up it says.
Shut up, David.
Well, yeah. All right, I'll turn it down when it's time to make sound. But okay, so I can show. Yeah, so I'm happy to show any part of this that anybody wants to look at. Since Aaron put in a request, this chord maker. So this is in the third section when he's playing. He can basically turn up these chords. Let me turn it down first.
That's going through during the performance. It's going through reverb and delays and stuff.
Right.
This is actually, I think, included in another meta sound.
I don't think this one is. I think some other stuff is with the trumpet, but I think this one's just clean. But basically, what's going on? So you can get different.
Now,
Just
those
playing it.
changes.
Change the can change
And
the
so-
chord type and the root and stuff too.
And those
So-
are getting set by Blueprint.
Right.
Yeah,
So are
those
they
good.
being played in with keys, or are they? Is this a pre-done MIDI sequence, and then we're changing some generation parameters of it, or?
No, so no keys. This is all. I mean, I'm changing the chord from a sequence with the keyboard, but this is all like pretty much controlled by Aaron. And so the chords are triggered by this threshold thing here. You can see this just firing. Well, I got to start it first.
So every time you get below a certain threshold,
Every time he
it
blows it,
triggers?
yeah. So if you imagine that as the trumpet playing, and so when it gets quiet,
Counterintuitively, the idea is that so the next time it fades up, it's a new chord, right?
Mhm.
Rather than like having to like slight bit of a previous chord, then it switches, you know. So it's like when it's done with the previous, the next one's ready to go, which is interesting.
So that's the way to preserve the interpolation, because otherwise it would interpolate. But yeah, and then it's real basic. It's a 4 saw oscillator into some filters. The chords set up by just we pick a random bass MIDI note and then add to that a random note, add to that a random note, add to that. I'm setting up
not any fancy music theory. It's just diatonic.
No fancy music theory. The slightly fancy thing is that the two, actually, it's actually the two. I was surprised to see this when I looked at this today. The two inner voices are chord tones, and then the low note and the high note are these.
That's why it sounds like inversion sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
Yeah, because there's
cool about it.
Because I knew there was going to be the low like 808 stuff, so I had the fundamental. But
I just want to say it produces really interesting chord progressions, but it still is always in the same key, predictably. As a soloist, it's not doing anything crazy. And then as a performer, I'm interpreting it, as tension and release and progression. Not really encoded in it. And also notably, as I play it, it creates a stronger sense of progression than would otherwise be there. I think is an interesting point as well.
Yeah,
and that bass tone is also that part of the same meta sound, or is it a different meta sound?
Actually, yeah, I had
also
forgotten
tuned?
about this. I forgot about this. There's two bass notes. There's this bass note down here, and this is
the
the
space bar changes the bass.
This actually fades in with this low interpolation.
Oh yeah,
gotcha.
So you can hear this. Where is it? Scene 3.
Yeah.
And then when I hit spacebar,
So beautiful.
That was rad.
It's so gnarly. It's so good.
It's kind of fun. So that is in this typing controller thing. Where is it? Chord progression. Find where the chord progression is. Yeah. So every time I hit the space bar, I am just.
I see. That was the integer input that you were messing around with, right?
Yeah. So this is the chord progression here, 5 4 3 1 9 0. Just
classic,
just like they teach you in jazz school.
Yep.
Similarly, the scale progression. So I'm just setting that. I'm just incrementing through this array every time I hit spacebar, and then setting that on the meta sound as the root, and setting the scale to the scale progression 3 20 0 3 1 22. Your favorite new chord progression. Very human readable, but that's just getting into this scale to note array Which
So we're feeding in. That's just being MIDI plus whatever the base starting note is, and that gives us our okay.
Yeah, and so then
That
it's
was
just
a
from this list
node,
here.
by the way, that Max wrote at my insistence. Little side note: all of those chords and scales in there, or just the scales, that's from Jamie Aebersold's jazz standard. Like
Is it
literally,
really?
yeah, it is. And Max was like, "This is the dumbest scale syllabus I've ever seen." I was like,
There are some really odd ones with terminology that
it's fucked up.
I don't know. Is it an American thing for some of this? Is that who
To
wrote
me,
the book? Or
yeah, it's an American. Yeah,
okay.
to me,
'Cause there's some terminology that's really unfamiliar, but just
go
some
look
of
up,
it.
Google it, Jamie Aebersold scale syllabus, and you'll see it. Part of the reason why I wanted that is that it's like sort of a embedded like sort of call out to jazz culture within MetaSounds. I just want to say,
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah. And
I love having all the scales. There's just some really weirdly named ones that I'd never heard of, and I got a composition degree, so I was like, "Whoa,
it's messed up.
MetaSound's got some real surprises for me."
They're weird for me too, as a fellow
Spanish or Jewish scale. What the hell does that mean?
Though.
Hindu. That's straight from.
It's
from
very
the-
jazzy.
It's very it's a jazz musician's way of thinking about things.
About
The real important ones are at the top. I mean, come on. The rest of it's just like, that's
I mean,
cool.
there was
Also,
one, I
that
think
was
it's
fun.
that was my
there's
one
a
request.
This is the first 17.
Yeah, that was my that was my request was to have, because they weren't in sequence, they weren't in order.
Yeah, I remember
wanted
that.
my modes in order because I do, as we've seen in previous ones, I like to do a little modal math where you're dealing with like chord scales, and you can do like some automatic voicings using the chord tones of the scales based on the diatonic scale offset. So like, for example, if you're in major Ionian, and then you want to play a fourth chord, then you can generate the tones right from the fourth, like putting a whatever, 4 minus 1, because we can start with 0.
Your F Lydian is your C major scale. So
exactly.
The other reason why I wanted this node in MetaSounds is whenever I do procedural music in Maximus P, the first thing I do is I get a call object and I'm starting to type my list of scales and stuff that I want, and I'm like, I hate doing that. It's like one of my least favorite things. I have to sit and do all this stuff, and it's like, let's just build it in the default. Have a little thing right there, and it's a huge signal, in my opinion, to the idea that MetaSounds is different than other environments where this is built for music and sound design and actually making things quickly.
Yeah. The other thing that's cool is because it's
go ahead.
I was just gonna say, because it spits out an array for the intervals. Mm-hmm. There are like other functions, like for example, random select, like the random float array node,
and random get.
With that node, you also have the weightings. So in other words, you can then say, okay, I want this scale, this scale as randomly select an interval from this scale, but I want to weight the intervals differently. Patrick, can you just put that note on there just to show people? Sorry.
Which one?
Drag out from the
just random float array.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Random array float or whatever. Yeah. See that where it says weights? There's another. Though indices correspond to the indices of the input array, and so you can give different probabilities. Basically, the probability table for the intervals. So that's really cool when you're doing I think, more of a Markov chain kind of approach for chords or melody generation.
This other node, random get, is one of my favorite things that's weird and unique about MetaSounds. I think it's like it's a strange thing. They have a like a random get from an array, but the fact that it's reseedable and all these kinds of things, those are weird quirks of MetaSounds that I think are things I wish that I had seen in other languages.
Yeah, it's powerful. Sorry, Patrick.
No,
We're just nerding out about bullshit.
Yeah.
it's okay. Yeah, I was just gonna say one thing is often I find myself wanting to do a lot of this stuff in blueprints, because you can do stuff like calculate an entire array of notes and then feed that in or schedule them with quartz or something. So this is so I've ended up making one of these in several projects and stuff in the past, but in blueprints. But
blueprint, if you start wanting to get precious with like arbitrary logic, one of the other streams that we had done, I was doing like some other algorithm, and it would have been impossible to do it in MetaSounds, but it was really easy to do it in Blueprint. Blueprint is the best place to go if you're trying to get precious with your logic. But still, it's nice to be able to have this stuff inside MetaSounds for cases.
Well, that positive. Are you talking about the difference between like working in a DAG versus like a execution sequence? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you're like searching and finding the minimum, and from that minimum, adding this and that, and you're doing if else and all kinds of logical branching, that's better in a regular programming language.
Especially since I have found often the case when I try to do those things in a MetaSound, they are a little bit of a waste because they're doing it every frame, like the evaluation is every frame.
Yeah.
And MetaSound frames are sometimes faster than game frames, you know. And so sometimes you don't need like to check the value like that often.
Yeah.
Totally.
With the scale to note array, is there I know that there's the scale element, but is there a key center? Like C Lydian versus G Lydian versus...
It's up to you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So once you plug it into this quantizer, it has the scale degree input and the root node input. So that's how it's happening in this case. But I'm keeping track of the roots separately. So that's like back to this.
So
project.
Actually, that's a
progression, which is the roots, and then the scale progression, which is the scale qualities.
So going back to the quantizer, this is actually really, really cool application here. So when I made Max do the scale to note array, he then insisted on doing this MIDI note quantizer, which I was like, whatever. But then it turns out it's like extremely powerful because oftentimes with the scale to note array, if you're not using the quantizer, you got to do all this like sort of math to like offset things and add things for the base note, whatever. But with the quantizer, it's trivial. You end up getting inversions, right? But the idea is you're shifting around without having to do a bunch of offset math to change key centers. It's trivial to just be like, here's my root note, here's my whole half-step pattern for my scale, and everything just magically works out. It's a very modular synthesis way to go, by the way. If you get into making music in modular synthesis, note quantizers are like your best friend because of this issue. Like, it's really hard to deal with like changing keys and chords and shit like that. And a quantizer is an easy way to do it.
Yeah,
I mean, I would love another node that just has a drop down for the 12 musical tones. That way, you don't have to worry about exactly what MIDI note you're looking for.
Interesting.
Yeah, so that's why I talk about like what I was talking about, working in scale degrees. Like a lot of times when if I'm doing procedural music generation and I want it to result in a diatonic sound, then I will try to do as much of my work in degrees, you know, whether it's scale degrees, chord degrees, whatever, first before converting it to like a MIDI note. So in other words, I'm just dealing with like 1 through 7 values.
Exactly.
And those are my scale degrees that I'm not concerned about. So in other words, 1 is always my root, or whatever, 0 is always my root, whatever that, you know.
Yep.
And so the first one's always my root, and I know that. And then it's easy to modulate. It's easy to do all sorts of cool stuff downstream from that, and all of the sort of fundamental logic around chords, because you know it's like 1 3 5, you know, that sort of 1 3 5 7, all that sort of stuff is very easy when you're just dealing with scale degrees. And then converting it to that downstream where it's now a MIDI note, then you can do your like, this is an actual key, like all that sort of logic. What is a melody? What are chords? Those you don't need to talk about the key. Like that doesn't really need to exist yet. And so you can sort of add that in downstream, and then you can do cool things where it's like, oh, you want to change the mode? Like none of your logic has to change, right?
You should go back to our faces or something.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, sorry.
No,
Yeah,
that's cool.
I was
think
waving
the,
my hands around. It was very engaging.
I know. You were really expressive, but
use your imagination.
We can
on
see
that
each
one.
other on the offstage, and I realized I was just watching Dan in the offstage, and I was like, oh, our audience is just staring at this meta sound.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. So that's...
no, I mean it makes total sense. I think having an alternate node that also does that would be very useful, because I know when I'm teaching this to people and they're just like, I just don't think that way. I just wanted the notes of a C major scale. Can I just have C major? And I'm like, no, well, you've got to send in MIDI note 60 and set it to major, and then you'll get an array out of notes, which are scale degrees, which you like. I get the functionality of it. It totally makes sense. It's just not. It's not necessarily super intuitive for people that think differently. And it's literally, it's just an enum with that. Like it's keep the same nodes, keep everything the same. I understand like the flexibility of using things, but if I wanted to do modal mixture of having 3 key centers that I jump around, like I just don't want to have 3 numbers that don't mean anything to me to pass around. But I totally understand the versatility.
I think that has more to do with how music theory is taught than the...
But if we're using music composition, it is about how it's taught,
Well,
no,
Dan's trying to say, like, it's not about the notes; it's the modality.
Yeah, if you're trying to teach diatonic music theory, right, then the specific pitches don't matter.
Yeah,
it's not about that. It's and I think that's a very like, so you have a composition degree, and I did not work in composition, right? I didn't jive with the way that traditional music theory was taught. I just didn't. And when I taught music theory, because I did teach music theory, when I taught music theory, I taught
Patrick, can you mute your...
Is this me? I'm sorry.
I don't know.
You're very popular. You got a lot of notifications.
Do not just disturb on. Why is it disturbing? I didn't realize I was my bad.
It's like causing me to like twitch. I'm like, is someone messing around Discord? Like, I religiously mute every Discord thing.
Oh, you have to.
I hate that little bloop, bloop, bloop.
There's I mean, we could sort of, I think we could all derail this whole thing. Not to necessarily we were on rails, but
turning into a religious debate
Well,
about
no, it's okay. So I think there's a lot of conflation at work in sort of traditional musicology or whatever. It's, you have music theory, it's conflated with music literacy. Like reading and writing music is different from the theoretical parts of music, and the pitches, the sort of instrumentation aspect of it, I've got a piano or whatever, is also conflated with all of that. And so like, and the way that music like traditional classical music degrees typically are taught, very performance and instrument oriented, and the sort of theory is very like, I don't know, it's also performance based, I would say. Like doing like fast modulate, like 1 minute quizzes on modulations and stuff like that, knowing your solfege. It's like there's all these components, and they're sort of mashed together in this pedagogy that I don't necessarily agree with. And I think that there's opportunities to sort of separate things out where people can understand things. Like you don't need to, like someone can learn how to compose music without an instrument or learning literacy, right? They don't need to read or write either. And so like we have to kind of, I think that there's a sort of like,
or learn a bunch of arcane notation and shit.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't think so. They're all tools. They all have their place in the conversation and the process. But yeah, I think that, yeah. Sorry.
I'll just vibe with you because I pitched to Digipen. I wanted to teach a course for them at some point called procedural music theory, where the gist of it is like CS students, people who have no background in music, teach them music from the standpoint of like mathematics, science, digital signal processing, and kind of like get them to learn music theory from that, like from fresh, rather than all of the, and again, I play classical music. I grew up that I can read music just fine. I like what Western music notation. But the theory being is like, that's not the only way to learn music. And like, it would be interesting to learn music and similar things about musicality, expressivity, structure, like try to get people that would not normally go into music program to learn music with a different kind of structured approach. And I think you can do it, but those people would like, in their mind would be like 48, well, 48.02 MIDI note, like whatever, like they'd be like, this a different approach to thinking about. Anyways, it's a long-winded and bullshit thing to say. Like, yeah, you're right, we should add that node.
I think it's just pitch class sets are great, and this is a way to do composition with pitch class sets, and that's totally fair. But when it comes to, it's just another avenue. I think it's probably what stops me from doing composition in MetaSounds is I lose track of what I'm trying to do because I don't like to think that way, and I like to be more fluid with changing modes and being able to reach out and get those things. That's not to say that it's not possible. Obviously, you could build structures and frameworks around it, but I think I really like this composition or this work or whatever, however this performance is really interesting in that you've picked what to keep simple and what to be complex, and it's not an exercise in making things complex, but it actually in being able to pull levers on complexity. And I think that's what makes this such a nice marriage for me of like talking about extended techniques and harmonic resolution at a point that isn't a convoluted music theory thing, but is expressive and is sort of natural or felt natural even just watching you perform it. It's like, okay, I can see what you're sort of going for, which is really nice.
Well, thank you.
Thanks.
I appreciate that, David.
But I want to sort of I want to tail on that really nice thing that you said, and that is I feel very strongly that procedural music design does have to have a very deep appreciation of music theory to be successful, I think, to be effective. And I think that's one of those things that is maybe misunderstood about procedural design, is that there's a sort of like easy mode or something like that. It's like, oh,
it'll just beep boop and do whatever.
Or I think that it's inhuman. Sorry, that may be a whole other can of worms, but that it is like not like human oriented.
Yeah.
I mean, our thing was very inhuman, but it was also very human.
I mean, I really would love to hear. I mean, maybe Patrick, maybe you've spoken about this more in other places. I've watched a few of your talks, and you've taught me heaps about metasound and procedural music composition. I wonder what your approach is when you're looking at the level of musicality to bring to a work like this. Where do you draw inspiration from how to build a system, or is it sort of, I thought of a cell that I found was interesting and I went off and did that?
Yeah. Inspiration from jazz, first of all. But no, that's a great question. I appreciate that. What's that?
Are you being joking? Are you joking?
I'm kind of being joking. I'm a little bit being joking, but I also knew that that if I gave you some jazzy chords in the end, you would take it and it'd be good. To Dan's point, I guess to both of your points, but looping back in what Dan said, I think that there's two things. There's like a music theory thing that people that gets left behind sometimes in procedural music. But I think there can also be on the opposite side, there can be like a timbral thing that gets left behind, which is, I think, another key part of music, pitch and timbre, right? So there's like a
orchestration.
I think it's
is another.
Yeah, and especially given
that would be texture. If we want to be the official music elements,
timbre. Wait, what?
No.
I think really we're talking about the tessitura of the orchestration here.
Okay.
Orchestration is texture. That's your voicing.
But I think especially because it's not necessarily synthesized, but in a lot of cases, if you're generating this stuff with a computer, which is a major advantage of procedural music, is that you can generate things with computers. there's going to be things that are synthesized. If you're going to synthesize stuff, like you really have to give the kind of care to the timbre that was given to like designing an instrument, because a lot of work has gone into like making a piano sound the way that it does, and you can just sit down and play it and it's very easy, but that doesn't mean that a lot of work didn't go into it. So it's
when I say orchestration, that's sort of what I mean, where it's like part of the orchestrators decide what instruments. It's not just the notes, it's what pairing of notes. What is it? A flute? Is it a violin? Is it, and there's different timbral characteristics, what things pair well together. That's like the sort of sound design of music, in my opinion, is orchestration. And
you're making a lot of decisions that have timbral ramifications.
We have an orchestrator in the house who's been silent. I'm curious, Eric,
that's right,
what you think on this discussion about this idea of it's not just the notes, it's how they're expressed in context.
Yeah, it's almost not about the notes at all. Like the notes, the composer writes the notes, and the orchestrator's job is to voice them, to make them, have texture, as Dan said, but also kind of have a flow. Like voice leading is very important in orchestration, and just managing the dissonance and trying to keep things sounding good, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, it's been a while since I've had my head in that space, but it's all good.
Well, to tie it back to what Patrick is saying is that, like, when you're talking about procedural music, it's not just about pitch classes and notes. No. You have to be involved with the sound of it, just like an orchestrator would have to be involved with. A composer makes a thing, and then it's your job to express it with an orchestra, or whatever the hell,
an orchestra of notes.
Exactly.
That's pretty clear. Like
that's you're an instrument designer. It's not a trumpet. You're like, what sound do I want?
Yeah.
But then, Aaron, you're sort of.
Sorry, I think it's pretty clear the time aspect of it, just from the fact that you've already got 6 dials that are doing different interpolations, and I mean the effect of the orchestration and arrangement and like just general quality of it is pretty clear when you were just hitting spacebar before and we were all like, oh, that's so good, because it's there's this interesting amount of distortion, or there's this just the way that you've synthesized kicks and things to kind of work together, even down to the point of Aaron initially saying that's not a trumpet, it's a cornet. It's like, well, that's another choice, and it goes with the ability there, which is I think it's cool.
On that note, I played with 2 mutes, which are part of the timbral characteristic, and I picked them very deliberately for each of the pieces. The last one was with the cup mute, which has a very particular type of tone, which I felt worked well with the crazy distorted stuff, But those are choices, that are really relevant for the performer, part of the orchestration, but also needs to be integrated with the aesthetic procedural choices that Patrick had made in the sound design of the piece as well. It's like what works well.
Yeah.
So I wanted a focused, more narrow sound that cut through cleanly through this crazy wideband spectral mix. That's the idea.
Yeah. So as far as musical decisions, there were like a lot of, limitations drive creativity, right? And there were a lot of kind of limitations, either self-imposed or just given the project that we had to work. What's that?
The time frame, like we literally were like that.
The time frame was one. So it was kind of like a So there were a lot of things that were driving a lot of the musical result. Early on, we decided, or I guess I just decided this unilaterally, that just as a formal element that we would have 3 different scenes, basically, so that we could have like just any kind of basic form to the music, and then from there it was like the human visual element like really drove a lot of the decisions, where we wanted to have some kind of like a lot of more crunchy stuff. We had the middle section kind of go ahead.
Sorry about the decision, the unilateral decision thing. One thing that I appreciated collaborating with you, Patrick, is that we almost never really debated ever about anything.
There wasn't enough time.
It would be like one of us would make a decision, and it'd be like cool, and then you'd rack it cool. There was a sort of like it just went forward, and just as we performed, we actually never sat down and really communicated like I'm gonna do this, and then it was just like we just listen. And I think a lot of collaborations sometimes fall apart where people are like, just it's like a yes and you talk about improvisation. You're like say yes and. This collaboration was very much yes and almost the whole time. It was like 3 thing. I'm like cool. Okay, what about this thing? What back and forth, which is kind of fascinating because a lot of the times I've done collaborations where it's like every minuscule point you end up debating about. You and I never really debated anything. Like, I think we should do this.
Sounds good.
What about this? Sounds good.
Sounds good. Yeah.
Am I wrong with that? I mean, that seemed like how.
No, I mean, it was, it was interesting. Okay. Another big limitation was the fact that we couldn't get together in person until the day before we had to do this, and so we really had one in-person day, and we had some like back and forth, and I think that drove a lot of it when it was like. Where I kind of was like, all right, I'm going to make a project that just so we have something, I'll send it to you and you'll do some stuff. And it's like, there wasn't, it wasn't necessarily a situation where it was like, we could really,
it was like
90%. For one, I wanted to collaborate with you. I didn't want to just be like, no.
But it still was like 90% you doing stuff and me coming and going like, what about these minor tweaks at the end?
No.
And you were like, okay, because that's like my minor contribution. Really, absolutely.
So your next performance should be the two of you trying to trip each other up.
Just fighting every step of the way. Yeah, exactly.
Surprise. Surprise.
The MetaHuman thing was I don't know where you got the inspiration of it, but we were like, we should do a collaboration. And you sent me the project, and I was like, Patrick, what the fuck is this? And he was like, "What, you hate it?" I'm sure he was like, "What? You don't like it?" And I was like, "No, I love it. It's so fucked up." Like, the initial idea of using MetaHumans was pretty radical. I wasn't expecting it, and I was like, "Yeah, this is amazing."
We'd love to see what's driving that. If you wanted to share that,
we should talk.
But before we move on so David has a question which is related to the orchestration, and I also have a question sort of related to the voicing.
Okay.
So just real quick, voicing one of the things that I really liked about the chord performance was the idea that the chord would respond to Aaron, and then Aaron would respond to the chord.
Yeah, absolutely.
I thought that was really cool, and it's a very interesting sort of it's a really interesting sort of like reach into the sort of classic improvisational interactivity. The sort of like I'm listening to the accompaniment, the accompaniment is listening to me. And there's this sort of interesting kind of intercommunication between the components during the performance, and I just think that that's really cool. There was a sort of success there with like Aaron interacting with the machine or whatever.
Oh yeah, no, it's totally. It feels like you're collaborating with a weird, inhuman, fucked up thing.
And I'm sort of curious: was there any deliberation behind that, or was it just sort of like an organic, happy accident that happened?
I mean, this is like the magic of procedural music, right? Yep. Is you can build a system and it takes in all the data that you're giving it and reacts in real time. And so, like, if the data that you're giving it is trumpet scales, then it'll react to that, and that's like a cool thing. And then it's generating something that you can react to, and so you can have this kind of like back and forth with a system that you've made, which I think is like number one thing. Whether you're doing it with a trumpet and a microphone, or you just have a game controller, or you're typing or whatever it is, it's like this is what makes it cool that you can't do with when you put a CD on your CD player.
I would call it
without scratching the CD. I mean,
exactly. Yeah.
What I would call what you're talking about is soldering iron. There's a property of emergence which happens with sufficiently complicated things with interactivity. There's a feedback loop. There's control mechanisms that are happening, and there's something that emerges from it that is more complicated than you realize that you put into it. And to me, that's the compelling part of procedural music, is that like every step is like simple and like I understand it, and then I let it go, and you get this, I don't know if it's an ego thing of being a human or whatever, feeling godlike, but you're like, I've created this thing which has got its own decisions, it's got its own free will, but not really because I've constrained it, but whatever. Just like God looks at humans, I'm atheist by the way, but like looks down and they're like, they think they have free will, but they're actually constrained by their society and culture, and they're whatever, but like we feel like we're free, and in many ways we are, and the music is kind of like that as well. It has degrees of freedom that are surprising. As a creator, I'm like, I made this thing, but yeah, I let it can go back, and I know kind of what it's gonna do, but I'm surprised even as the composer. One of the things that is exciting about music is the feeling of being surprised. It's sort of like as you listen to it and you're like, I see where it's going. This is the whole thing about music, right? And storytelling and everything about humanity is you set up expectations and then you subvert them like this, or resolve them. Either way, it can feel good. But at the end of the day, there's some human connection of like antecedent and consequence, structure and resolution, or tension and resolution and structure overall. And I think with procedural systems at work that feel good, it's about that feeling of being surprised, even as the person who made it. That's like probably the procedural music composer enjoys it the most, because they're like, I made that, and yet I'm still surprised, And then as a performer, there's a whole other level. Like, that's the thing I love about jazz, is that like it's structured. Here's the song, and every time you do it, it's different. Every person you play with is different. They're gonna have a different approach. It's always surprising, and that's really exciting as a performer, because you're like performer composer. And so I actually feel like jazz music and procedural music are like best friends in this sense of like, here's the procedure, but then we're gonna roll the dice constantly. It's gonna be different every time, And I think that's so super exciting about it.
No, it's kind of funny that you mentioned that, like, it's always exciting. It's like it's always exciting, but it's not always exciting at every moment. It's like if you really good proceduralism, like this feels like we know the chord's coming, we know that the chord tones are coming, and it feels really nice because we can play against that or go against it and play outside of the changes or whatever it might be. But it isn't constantly random to the point where it's not predictable anymore. And I feel like that's this
Absolutely.
one. It has the three acts of being able to jump and be surprising and random and everything, but it's not constantly random, and that's I think what makes it feel so fun to play is when you know that the next chord change is going to be a chord that's going to work or not work or whatever it will be.
Or you're like, oh, touche. Like I feel like when I'm listening to music, I'm often feeling micro touches. Like when you're talking to someone and they're like da 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 da, and then you're like da 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 da, and then someone goes blah blah, and you're like, oh, touche. Good point. I wasn't expecting that. That's the feeling that I get when I listen to good music. I'm always like micro touching, like, ooh, yeah. Like even if I've heard it a million times, I'm like, it's such a good argument, like, or this feeling of like, that's how I feel when I listen to Bach. I feel like I'm watching a good math proof, Like, like I love math, by the way. I just want to say, like, when you read a math proof, you're like, oh God, yeah, yes.
I think that was evident when you said it's like I'm reading a good math proof. I think we all understood that you like math.
What I'm trying to say though is that Bach is math proofs expressed through music. Where you're just like, it is such a logical thing, but he's never going to surprise you. That's what's cool with jazz. It takes the Bach proof and is like, yeah, but what if we fucking take it out of 2 dimensions and create non-Euclidean geometry, and you're like, oh yeah, something like that.
Touche.
Micro touche.
Micro touche.
Anyways, sorry, Patrick. Back to what you were saying. I forget what you were saying.
That was great. Loved it.
David, you had the question about the parts, right?
Yeah, just the parts. So in terms of the actual meta sound structure from an asset level, is it 3 different meta sounds that then you're cross-blending between, or is it all in one monster meta sound that you're dividing the parts up into? Or
so many meta sounds. There's a lot of meta sounds. I'd be happy to switch back to the project and do like a quick spin through if you want. Or actually briefly, if you want to talk about
the nightmare.
The nightmare, the face nightmare. You can pull it back up because I had this pulled up. This is our little face, and this is the animation blueprint for the face. And so the secret to making the face go crazy is making this control rig And this is an existing controller that you can bring in, and as you can see,
I just want to say that the fact that this exists blows my mind.
it's
That you can even have this
super
thing.
nuts.
Procedural
Super
facial
nuts.
reactions.
Control rig is crazy just in general, right?
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy. So if I take something like if I disconnect this eye blink, get my keyboard to work again, and if I make this like 1 and compile it, I assume the eye blink, yeah, boom,
Nice.
the eye blinks. So the
It's more of a wink,
The
really.
eye blinks.
so it's real basic.
What happens
right?
if you do
But,
0? I have to know right away. Like, what does 0.5 do? Is it like half blinked?
it'll be half blink, yeah.
I gotta see it.
But because you
I have one
asked,
more follow-up question.
Sort of a micro touche.
Yeah.
Go on.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's right.
Now, what if you set it to 10? Is it
10,
clamped?
it's clamped. But
Okay.
Yeah, that'll be 10
Oh.
blinks.
I know. Well, I was wondering if it would like the eyelid would get all totally fucked up. But
I mean, I'll do it. I think it's just clamped though.
all right, it's clamped. All right. Fine.
Anyways, so this I could not figure out a way to not do this. The super annoying thing to just go through and click. The super annoying thing too is if you like click one of these, then it just starts you back at the top.
Oh,
So it's like
Ah,
it's like it was just like a total. It was just like a put on a sports podcast and just do this for like 30 minutes or something.
so the use pin is what shows it. It like exposes it.
Use pin exposes it, and then from there I can just set this this variable, and I'm setting that in the somewhere.
That's kind of like a
But
MetaSound
I'm
node
just
config that we're working on.
so, what's that?
Yeah.
Oh,
MetaSound
Yeah.
node configuration where we'll be able to like expose it to the MetaSound graph.
yeah, exactly. So so basically I'm just setting 40 different random floats every time I like press the, or actually it's doing it in different ways. In the first scene, like where the face is going crazy and sort of morphing in a weird slow way, it's using Perlin noise to set 40 different random floats, and then with the typing it's just setting random floats. And then that thing where it has the like the how extreme it is, this is actually, you can see this down here. Can you see this?
I actually didn't know that was actual information.
Yeah, this is actual information. These are the actual floats, and you see if it's like if I set it at the top, then it sets almost all of them with random numbers. And if I set it at the bottom, it just does a few. In the middle, it'll do like a
So-
a lot of them are still zeros. But
For the Perlin noise version, are you using like a whole bunch of different generators with some offsets, or like how or are you just using one and they're all sort of synchronized, or like all the targets are synchronized, or
no? I think I'm setting 40 different things. Perlin time? No. The random poses is probably it. Forgive me because I don't remember exactly where this one is. Change pose. Random floats for. No. I'm not sure if I can quickly find this. It's in scene 1. So. I'm not sure
this
if
is
I
our
can.
weekly reminder to comment and document your projects.
Hey, there's comments. There's comments. Cut me some slack. Oh, here we go. The old one.
Comments coming from
The new
Dan.
one must be close by.
No one has time for comments.
Here it is.
I like that they said they had
Found-
1 day to work on it, and Dan's like, yeah, but what about the documentation?
I will say zero comments right here. To your point. So you got me on this one, Dan.
You know, if you push
Anyway.
C, you can just leave one whenever you want.
So I just have a reference to the MetaHuman face animation, and this 40 40
Wow.
float array. I am setting some Perlin noise on each float.
Wow.
So, and then it's based on it's multiplied by the fast interpolation speed. So it kind of like turns on when Aaron plays it. So I can kind
That's
of show
the
you
circles.
Oh, that's
looks
cool.
like. So then it's like
Novel use of Perlin noise.
Yeah.
anyways.
Yeah, that's
it's kinda
really
fun.
cool.
Yeah, so
One of
that
the things- sorry, go on.
sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to make a comment unrelated to anything, so I will not talk. I mean, it was related, just not to MetaHuman. Go on.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Anyways, this was a whole bunch of annoying manual labor to set all of these different joints with random floats, but it was pretty fun to play around with when I wasn't plugging in wires and getting carpal tunnel. But
That's like half your day right there.
oh man, this
looks pretty cool.
When
does
I
look
went
cool.
down on Sunday, he just said, "Hey, wait a second. I need to hook this up," and I waited for 3 hours and I just watched him.
No.
Hovered over his
This
shoulder.
fun. I've just done before.
I mean, sometimes you do just need to do this stuff. Like you
Sometimes you
probably
do.
could have worked out some way to do it with a for loop over all of the. But if it's that or half an hour of plugging things in, you slap on a podcast and plug things in for half an hour and move on with your life.
I couldn't figure out another way to do it, but I don't know. Maybe somebody out there.
You'd spend like 3 days trying to figure out a way to do it.
I know. That's the danger, right? So back to David's question about the meta sounds. Have these reference viewers. So it looks like from the typing. No, this is from Aaron's microphones. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different meta sounds, and then from the typing, there's a bunch. There's like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 different meta sounds. So there's a bunch of stuff doing.
Is that just like each hit or whatever?
Yeah, like
so a lot of these are. Yeah, for these like beep. Let's look at beep.
If this doesn't make a beep sound, you're in trouble.
There you go.
Yeah, all right, you're good.
This one I really like this one. It's super simple. It's just 2 signs, envelope for both of them. They're just getting random frequencies, and then we're just plugging in.
Sounds like FM synthesis. Yeah, it's
a sign.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
But it's not that much, because as you see this the amount of the modulation, we're multiplying by this extreme, or we're exponenting by this extreme exponent, and so it's actually like, I don't know if you can see that, but it's mostly like very low numbers, and you get a high number every once in a while, and it's all
That would be cool if that little debug display lasted past the duration of the meta sound, wouldn't it?
What's that?
The debug display, if it was persistent, it didn't just go away when the meta sound finished.
Yeah, just the last number.
Yeah, that's
It would be nice. I mean, you could just print it. But my output log is probably insane. Clear.
I love it because the people on the Fortnite team saw you click the output log and was like, "Yeah, you can't just print it, man. It doesn't work that way."
You got to hit the trigger.
Yeah, I guess so. Whatever.
There you go.
So see, mostly zeros, and then you get like a big number every once in a while. Anyways, not that cool. It's just, but it's like there's something about it when you hook it up to a keyboard and then you're like smashing it with a key. It's actually can be really fun.
Well, I think the FM, even with random values, if it's very gentle modulation, you get some interest and it still sounds pleasant.
It still sounds cool.
It's not like crazy harsh.
Yeah.
So this is actually appropriate to the thing that I was awkwardly saying before that was unrelated, but I will say it now. One of the things that I do like about your sound design aesthetic for a lot of this is that it harkens back to like retro, like retro digital computer music. There's a lot of it that is like beep boop beep boop beep. I'm procedural music, and then the rest of it is like really fucking futuristic. So to me,
What does the rest of it sound like? Hang on. If one
it sounds
part
like
is me.
it's
Okay, cool.
So what I'm trying to say though is that it makes it feel a little bit retro, which I think subconsciously puts it into a kind of, I don't know how to say that, but like Blade Runner-y, kind of like, it's like sci-fi but retro sci-fi, but at the same time actually modern sci-fi as well. Anyway, there's something about it that I love, the beep boop lippy like retroness of it.
About it.
Yeah.
The
Like
beefiness.
this FM synthesis is like, oh, FM synthesis is cool, like says the 1970s, or 80s,
It's coming back.
There's something really retro about it that I really appreciate. I actually kind of like the OG like beep boop.
Well, I appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah. So, anyways, I don't know. That's so as you can see, a bunch of meta sounds, and what's this one do? I forget.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you're a little. Yeah, this happens in the
Second one.
Sort of like rumbling noise going on. Sort of like
Is that just like fire and forget, and it just goes off and plays a sequence? Like, where is the input something you're tapping out somewhere, or?
So it is this trigger repeat is firing the pulses, and this is actually this is a fun trick. This is how I like to do Perlin noise and metal sounds.
Hard to hear you. This thing is distorting, by the way.
Right now, can you hear me?
Now we can
Yeah,
hear you.
it's just
while
just,
you're talking, it's hard to hear.
Oh,
Your,
playing while talking. Yeah.
Yeah,
sorry.
your sound is hot. We talked about
Anyways, yeah. Sorry, I'll bring it down to 0.15.
we talked about that before, Patrick.
Sorry, I like doing. This is like a nice way to do Perlin noise in meta sounds, because it's nice to you get these, and it's nice to be able to like have a running clock that you can speed up and slow down.
Those
so
Perlin noise things. Pro tip to anybody listening: there's so much power in slowly, locally correlated noise. I was very excited when we had those. There's also low frequency noise, by the way. Another note. Have you used that?
I have, yeah. I like that one too. So you can see this getting bigger here. I don't know if you can see that very well, but it's slowly getting bigger. I can speed this up with this knob, and then it'll like get bigger faster, and these numbers will move a little faster. You can kind of see. So I'm basically just changing the period that this repeats to get like these kind of like pulses.
Okay. That's
like
it's
yeah,
awesome.
you get a real organic like note playback kind of thing from this. But so then if I turn this back up, that is where the note stuff comes from. And this
So
time
that's
thing
in graph
is also.
using a stereo delay.
Sorry?
That's in graph stereo delays.
I'm sure this is a submix, probably. Yeah, the submix has.
By the way, this is a pro tip. A lot of people who don't realize this, that in the Metasound editor, if you send your Metasound to a submix, when you preview it, it is playing from the submix that you sent to.
Yeah, super useful. So here, all that delay that you hear and reverb and stuff, that's coming from the submix effect.
Nice.
So yeah,
Sorry, can you walk me through that Perlin noise trick a little bit more detailed? Because I can't quite see the numbers, so I'm just trying to understand. It's a really cool effect.
Patrick,
so
you can do an extra scroll in with holding control if you want to scroll in. You can
holding control. Oh, no way. Wow. Okay. That's awesome. I didn't know
pro
that.
Tip.
It's a great pro tip. So basically we have, it's taking advantage of this delayed get. So now it's going to, I have this Perlin input, and it's going to add this number to whatever it was before every whatever it is, whatever your clock speed is, 0.01 seconds. So in the end, you can see it's just it just slowly increments, and I can use this knob to change how fast it increments. So if I put it at 0, it's just going to add 0 and it's going to stay the same.
What's controlling that knob, by the way? I'm curious.
This
That
knob
comes
is
from-
just me setting it to something that I liked.
Oh, okay.
I always set a knob for it.
Just like a tunable.
So I can tune it. Yeah.
Yeah. Nice.
And then
That's
and
by
then
the way a workflow we want to improve with MetaSounds, where we can separate out inputs from preset tunables with like intended to be driven by gameplays, because
Oh, cool.
Just FYI.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Yeah, that's a cool incrementing trick.
Thanks. Yeah, it's not because I think you can disconnect this and you get time. Yeah, use internal clock if it's not connected, but you can't control how fast it goes.
Right.
And so
I mean, you could move the computer faster or slower, right? That's physics.
Yeah, if the computer is accelerating,
Just send it to a black
close
hole.
to the speed of light, then it'll work,
Relativity meta sounds.
the relativity meta sounds. But otherwise, yeah, you can see, like if I make this range like 1, you'll see like I'm getting slow pulses, but then if I move it up way up, it's like I just get
So what gave
Yeah,
you
you
the
get
idea of
acceleration. That's
using-
cool.
Yeah, what gave you the idea of progressing through a sequence,
like an arpeggio thing.
but through Perlin noise like that? It's an interesting idea. Like, I'm curious where you get the idea.
That I don't know. I mean, that's it's like it seems like one of the few ways you can kind of get like a sort of truly Perlin noise feels very organic to me as far as the noise types go. And
That's the whole point of it.
if you're trying to get something that's like a pianist, kind of going faster or slower, like hitting keys kind of thing, it feels very much like it mimics that, I think. So
there is a node that I added that's in experimental plugins coming up. That is where you can draw a curve and then treat it like a Perlin noise, where you can drive it's like an XY mapping function. You could probably use a similar thing, but then you could manually draw the curves. Perlin would be
cool.
Random.
Yeah, I remember you showing that.
Yeah, it was that on Realfest.
Yeah.
You could also pass output of Perlin noise through that same mapping function.
Yeah, that's right.
And get
And
something
feed it.
even crazier, even more organic.
You could have Perlin noise feeding into a Perlin noise X lookup.
Oh my god!
You could draw a picture of a tree with the graph.
You could draw a
And it
picture of
would
a tree
look-
with the picture of the tree.
Oh my god!
The
FFT.
tree's holding a picture of the tree, like
Yes.
Nickelback.
Oh no. Yeah, so this meta sound,
Yeah.
If you ever wonder why this tool is totally fucked up, now you know.
So is it? Sorry, just back to the delay. Is it quantized then, so that the sequence plays, or is that doesn't need to be quantized because of the sort of running on effect of just sort of going up the keys?
For this part, I didn't want it to be quantized, so it's
right.
it's just the raw Perlin output
Organic.
doing the triggers.
So the other thing, if we could switch to a different meta sound,
Let's do it. What do you
to
want
talk
to say?
about it, is the one that you use, and it's the funnest, by the way, to play, in my opinion, because I've done the keyboard part of this as well. Is the I don't know how to call it, but like the jazz keys. You know what I'm talking about? Like there's a part where you can control like plinkle keys, like
Oh yeah, that's
You know what
right.
I'm talking about? Like it's
We didn't
really
really talk about that. Probably nobody even realized that this was happening. In the second scene, there's our little.
There's the arpeggio.
Oh my goodness.
He's playing that on keyboard.
Yeah.
He's playing the keys.
Can we see? Let me see my cool mechanical.
Oh,
keyboard
nice.
too.
Look at that. Oh, no one can see that. And it's sure.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's really cool.
Patrick's doing a demo. You have to share his screen.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, everyone.
Like that is so cool.
You don't have to make it enormous, but
That is really neat.
put it in the side.
Is it like consistent mapping or is it like random mapping?
So here's the fun part.
Yeah.
From a performative aspect, though.
That's so cool. That sounds so great.
That's very
From a
cool.
performative aspect, though, as I'm playing in little, if you notice, like there were times where I'd stop and he would go, "Bee-dee-doo-doo-boo-boo-boo." I'm giving him space like a jazz musician should. So for him to do a little solo, and then I do a thing, and then he can do a thing, and it feels very reactive because it is very reactive.
Yeah.
So this is a fun trick that I figured I was super happy about. So I'm basically like just getting the delta from when I hit a key to when the last key was hit. And so if I press a bunch of keys really fast, then I'll go up the scale. So it kind of like sounds like a velocity thing because you're going up and because you go up in pitch, but it's all the same like volume level. It's just the pitch that's being determined. So I'm just getting like, and then I have like a maximum like 0.6 seconds. So this is just like the time base. I'm subtracting
minimum 0.6 seconds.
Yeah, a minimum of 0.6 seconds. So it's like
no, you're right. It's the maximum because
it's the maximum.
It's the maximum. Yeah, so 6 it's never going to get bigger than 0.6 seconds. So if I wait,
the lesser of two values, caps
yeah.
the maximum.
Yeah, sorry, it's hard to explain. And
I thought
then
this guy liked math.
I don't know. I don't really like math.
He's got a physics master's degree.
I don't know how math works. Come on, shut up, dude.
Nobody does.
So then I'm just basically using that to map to the note. It's like where is it? Once the delta, sorry, I'm trying to remember exactly how this works. Interpolating up and then setting as this gets bigger. Oh yeah, so then I just have the ranges set. So I'm like from like this is basically a time. So it's like from 0.05 seconds. So if you're hitting it super, super fast, it'll map to a smaller, this is like kind of like a random range. And then this is like a up the from one MIDI note to 60 MIDI notes at the highest. So 0.04 seconds from the last note will be like a maximum of 60 notes higher. So it goes way.
Oh, that's cool.
Sorry,
so the faster you play it, the more the sequence will go up, basically.
The faster you play it, the more the sequence will go up, and then it's interpolated, so it kind of happens a little bit more gradually.
Right.
You have a very creative mind.
Thank you. I appreciate that. This was it turned out to be like kind of fun to play though. I was pretty happy about it. It kind of actually sounds. So I can give it a little like one more like little
encore
of it. Encore, so you can sort of see. Maybe we can see both here. But then also you can like play these, like hit a handful of notes together and play like chords
near each other.
Sorry. The other neat thing is that you can kind of play like a bunch of like handful of notes together or keys together, and it'll make chords from it. Which is like.
It's like harp. It feels very harp.
Is
gestural because of that whole, because you've introduced that time mechanic, you get this inherent gestural nature of it where it feels so connected just because you aren't going to get. I feel like it's such a fun way to sidestep the random noise, random note selection, because it's like, well, it's not. It's constrained, moving sort of box plot of notes, which is
Yep.
Yeah. It's anyways. So that was kind of a fun one. The meta sound is super simple. It's just a synth thing, but the note selection in Blueprint is kind of what makes it click. So
is this scene have like a harmonic sequence, or is it like, are you following? Is it following some sort of other chord?
I think it's all just one scale.
The whole thing, by the way, the whole piece is just C.
Yeah,
0.
but there
Excuse me. The whole piece is 0.
Technically
right.
0.
We're in the key of 0. I will be referring to
It's
it.
like a Jacob Collier sort of TED talk all of a sudden.
Right.
Yeah, like going
This
back
is
to
you
David.
know
It's like,
It
you're like, I
interesting-
only think in notes, and we're like, we only think in numbers.
I have always only thought in numbers, so it's much more easy for me to think about this.
By the way, Patrick, you were learning piano. When did you start learning piano? Because you're a piano player. Like Patrick is a great piano player.
I'm an okay piano player. I started when I was a kid,
No.
so
I honestly liked your piano playing. We were jamming for a bit. I understand it's a high cap, so you don't want to brag, but you know.
it's a high cap. We're on the internet. Right?
Yeah, someone's
Like,
going to come
say
in
you're a
and be
good
like,
piano player.
he's all
To
right.
say you're good at piano in this world is like bragging, you know. Like, but in my humble opinion, Patrick sounded great at piano.
Nice.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, I don't know. It's always been easier for me to think about it that way. So it's funny. I don't want any enums. I just want integers and a modulo.
Which is probably why you're comfortable with the insane shit that we built with MetaSounds. Like,
As long as it
So
unlocks
fair,
whatever you're trying to do, it
Yeah.
really doesn't matter. Like I could see once you get comfortable of however you're building it, it just connects together, and that's totally fine.
Yeah. There's my synth voice.
Dan, you want to zoom in on his?
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
It's no big deal. Maybe I can just zoom in. It's no big deal. Mixolydian. That's what we're doing. So
Yeah.
I'm just getting the note. The FM ratio set to 1. So we're not doing much with that. Yeah. Very simple.
That's a nice tone.
Yeah, sounds good.
Nice tone.
Yeah.
I think I thought about doing something cool with the FM like that.
Is that another tunable? Or is that just one you were?
This is just a tunable. Yeah. Get some glassy stuff in there, but
You know, FM is definitely something that people don't take advantage of, which is why I'm excited by Dan's phase modulator that he made.
Yeah.
Did you watch the? You probably didn't, but Dan, a couple of episodes ago when I was on it, Dan talked about his phase modulator. And it's very.
I made a little phase mod node.
Yeah.
For
Nice.
For MetaSound. Yeah.
I would love more stuff. Also, we were talking about this on the Discord today. The sine modulation works, but the other oscillators, they haven't worked. They stopped working in 5.2.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I
didn't
posted that conversation in Triage.
missed that.
I'm on vacation, by the way. So that was a little like gift to
You're doing a
Patrick.
lot of work.
Apparently 5.1. That's what Patrick said. 5.1.
Are you shitting
Yeah.
me? That tells you that no one's using it because
I'm using it, but I stopped. I just stopped
only
using
sine wave works.
Only sine wave works. Yeah.
Okay, I'll look into that. That's
The other ones, crash a lot. Sorry, but
they crash.
They crash.
crash.
Yeah.
crash.
Oh my god! I guess
But-
anybody who's doing frequency modulation out in the community probably just stops at sine waves and they're like, sweet, because that's traditional. And then our QA.
I do like
I
FM
certainly don't.
with saw waves and
Yeah,
square
I
waves
know.
are kind
It
of
should
boring,
work.
but
It should work. It should work.
Yeah.
Certainly shouldn't crash.
yeah.
I'm going to say that it's a little bit risky to say that as an engineer.
Well, shouldn't
Let me
is
say-
not the same thing as
Shouldn't
won't.
crash. What'd you say, Dan?
I said shouldn't is not the same thing as won't.
Oh,
That's-
definitely.
You just draw the distinction there.
Yes. Unreal Engine definitely can crash.
Shouldn't though.
But it shouldn't.
You should.
In an ideal world, none of our programs would crash.
Yeah. Yeah.
And all of our
honestly, I
bugs will
didn't
be
know about that.
features.
Like, I'll literally look into it next time I'm able to look at code. I will definitely look into it because there's probably something stupid. I'm sure it's easy to fix.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if we were gonna like revisit that because the whole node configuration thing and the oscillator.
Well, we want to
feels like
redo
it's-
all.
Yeah.
Pro tip or not pro tip? Insider info. We want to redo all of our oscillators. There's a lot of we've learned a lot of lessons about how all that works, and with node configuration, channel agnostic types, etc. There's going to be a big era of like lessons learned phase. And like the oscillators work, but there'll be a second generation of like things.
Well, they crash.
Well, other than the crash.
Only if you plug in one thing to the other thing, and
It works.
it's
Minus
not
the
the
crash.
normal way that people.
They look
plug those
great.
things in. They do look great.
Minus the crashing. We'll make a. My biggest complaint is the fact that they're separate nodes. I think it was my idea to make them separate nodes. So I can't remember. It was like it's
Own
phasey.
it. Own it. Own it.
It's
Even if it
probably
wasn't.
my fault. Is my point.
That's right.
But I think that was a bad decision. We should have one node that lets you like toggle it, aka configure it, because having them be topologically relevant, in other words, like the MetaSound graph depends on which nodes. That sucks. It's a terrible.
Yeah.
So
So one thing I will say this to be fair, when you're looking at something like MetaSounds as a feature, and all of the pin inputs and all the pin outputs and all the different ways you can combine those things and have dynamic changes over the course of the graph render, it becomes a kind of unwieldy burden on QA. Like QA can it's really because it's the combinatorics become sort of insane. And so you kind of have to add coverage with like automated testing, and there's only so much you can do with that. And QA sort of destructive testing has to be like more golden path oriented and stuff like that. So I just want to sort of say like this is a hard problem to try to
thing, and we have limited QA resources. Which maybe I shouldn't say that, but we do.
We have new QA resource coming in soon.
Yeah, soon.
I think it's unrealistic to say that nothing's ever going to crash or have problems, and I think everybody, at least on the call, understands that like stuff goes in and out of working, and as long as we can work out how to do things outside of that, then I mean, if the FM part of a saw wave's broken, it's like it happens,
Just report the bugs. Please
Thank you,
report
David,
the bugs
for being so magnanimous.
This is where you report them, right?
This is why I'm on this call actually. So I have a list actually of.
So this is actually we're past the time, by the way, Dan.
Yeah. We'll wrap this up in a second.
Can I finish this?
Yeah, I want to.
So I will say this: Unreal Engine. This is something actually that comes up a lot philosophically with licensees that we have. Unreal Engine is an absolute continual work in progress. It is not like other normal enterprise software that you might interact with, where it's like I download my DAW and like there's this feeling of like it is a like I don't know what you'd call it, but
perfect version,
perfect thing. Unreal Engine is like released so rapidly, so quickly, and is so rapidly changing that I would call it like never done. It's always in a state of progression, and there's a sort of perception that it should work like Photoshop or whatever, but like it's software to make software, which is different than other pieces of software. Like a DAW is software to make a piece of music, like a static output. Photoshop is software to make a texture. Unreal Engine is software to make software. And so there's an expectation that the user is themselves developers, which creates a different mindset for the threshold of what the heck it is that it's trying to do. And that is a different mindset that I think informs you as a user of it, to understand that it's always this continual, like, dramatic work in progress. And I think someone, like, especially for middleware, where middleware I would say is more like enterprise, where the thing doesn't change as fast, it's much slower, it's much stabler, frankly. Like how often does your favorite middleware change? It changes slow and not as often. And the user of it is also making software, but not with that tool directly, you know. And I think it's a different mindset. And I don't know, it informs your approach to your narrative with the tool, you know, like come and join the progress of this work in progress versus like use it as a, you know, DAW user and get pissed because it's not done.
Yeah.
It's never going to be done.
Also works much better than Photoshop.
Yeah.
What'd you say, Patrick?
I said also it works a lot better than Photoshop.
I mean, what is the mean time between failure on Photoshop? I don't use Photoshop regularly, but does it crash and have issues and shit a lot?
Yeah, I use I don't know. There's like various Adobe software. After Effects is the worst one. After Effects crashes all the time and is super slow and sucks. And everybody who uses it hates it. It's my impression. Photoshop is not great, and they're always they're like adding all this like generative AI stuff that's like a disaster right now and just like buggy and it's getting in the way and stuff. There's some of their stuff, I don't know. I think Premiere is like stable and works well, but I use Illustrator more than any of the other ones, and I think that works pretty well. But
I would like to apologize to our sponsors, Adobe.
I thought we were a one sponsor show.
I'll just say this.
Tea rooms only here.
I'll say any tool designed to be complicated to help creative people make other things is going to probably have issues.
Yeah.
Especially if they're innovating. But I think Unreal Engine, I'm not defending that it has issues, but it's a tool that is even more removed from the end product, you know.
Yeah.
Which says something, you know.
Yeah. Well, I think I to your original point, Aaron, that the end user is expected to be a developer themselves is a very different tolerance for the sort of state of the or stability of the
exactly
thing.
Like the expectation is a user of the tool is themselves making whatever, like making software.
Yeah.
It's like a DAW for software output rather than DAW for your static piece of music.
Right. Or like a DAW for DAW making.
Yeah, that too. We do have people making DAWs. like that's crazy. Like there's like the Undaw, the guy that's doing Undaw.
Yeah. Yep.
Unreal DAW. Like that is a thing. Someone's using Unreal Engine to make a digital audio workstation. Like that's jacked up.
It's pretty wild.
In a way, you know, it's wild. You know, you could think of Mixed Universe as another example of like a crazy DAW thing.
We're kind of doing that too. Real talk.
Your game?
At the, our game.
Oh,
or
cool.
It's DAW. It's DAW.
That's DAW-like.
Yeah, so we should shout out Patrick's company, I guess.
Oh yeah, I don't think it's public. So
also no one knows who Patrick is.
It's secret.
Okay. Well, Patrick is working for a top secret company. It's very exciting. But also, you never introduced who the hell Patrick is, like to our audience people.
We forgot to do introductions. Yeah,
let's
do outro-ductions.
2 hours in.
All right.
Introduction.
Who were these
now
people?
That you've stuck with for 2 hours.
Past tense.
All right, Patrick. Why don't you say who were you? Who were you?
Who were you?
Who have you been up to this point?
This is a very professional undertaking.
I don't know how to do an introduction. I've never done one of this before. Yeah, I'm Patrick. I go by TapesClub on the internet, and I am working as a technical music designer at Aria Labs. I think I can actually shout out if there's. Can I change this? I don't know. If you go to arialabs.io, you can. We're starting to do some play testing, and we're working on a music game, which is pretty cool, and it's built in Unreal.
Boy, is that the
Song
thing?
Boy? That's the one.
There you
go.
It's called Thumb Boy, Song Boy.
Song Boy.
Working title. Thumb Boy. I was like,
Thumb Boy. It's a great name, Thumb Boy. Marketing people really just blasted that one. No, it's pretty fun. I think later this year or early next year, it'll be more widely available, and it's not a DAW. It's not a DAW, but it's you know,
I will-
you can make music in it, and it's pretty neat.
I will
So.
say this: I have seen sneak previews, and I
Are you allowed to say that? Are you getting Patrick in trouble?
I don't know. Am I allowed to say that? Can I just say it's awesome?
You did sign the NDA when you came
Oh.
into my office?
All right. Well, I'll just
Aces.
I'll just say that I find your logo of Aria Labs on that website awesome.
It's
yeah. I added
it's
link.
fun,
I added
it's
link
fun.
to the description of the video, Aria Labs, and also we have a link to Patrick's Cycles project and your new one,
Oh yeah,
Marble something.
Marble
Marblophone.
something. I have some fun little projects made in Unreal that you can download and try out.
Check them out.
They're kind of fun. So
They're both free, right? Are they both?
They're
free?
both free. They're all free.
Yeah.
I don't want your money.
You
It's
don't
fine.
you can't afford not to.
Can't we
You
just
can't
throw our
afford not
money at
to.
you? What's the button one is my favorite. What's it called?
The
Found Sound.
Found
Yeah.
Sound.
I mean,
It's on
all you
I don't have a link for that.
You did a
If you-
game
if
jam.
you-
with
if
Found
you
Sound,
just-
and I'm still
my
puzzled by it.
website comes up. Boom, patrickhart.org.
There you go.
My website, I recently redesigned. I have a placeholder website that has 4 or 5 different types of procedural noise generation on it, which is
It's pretty cool.
it's kind of fun.
I'm sure.
Yeah, I
Perlin
added
involved.
I added a quick bio for you, Patrick, in the description, which includes a
thanks.
link to patrickhart.org.
Yeah, so I have links from there. I have an itch page with some stuff to download.
Check it out.
I gave some talks recently at Unreal Fest. You can watch on YouTube.
Yeah.
That's me.
Come
That's
to Game
That's me.
Sound.
That was me. That
That's-
used to be.
that's
That
who you
was-
were.
That's right.
Patrick
Who
lives in
knows what the
LA.
future will
We
be.
will be hanging out at Game SoundCon.
We've been
at the
hanging
very
out at GameStown. Aaron's getting
We're
me a
making
comp
him.
ticket.
I'm trying to get him
Demo at the Unreal booth. I'll be there at the Unreal booth with a
Manifesting it.
badge.
at the very least. He'll be in the bar in
You'll be in the
Burbank.
bar next to the hotel.
I'm setting my sights high, but
That's right.
right below
Yeah.
my high set heights are the Marriott.
No,
the Marriott
I'll buy
Hotel
you a
bar.
beer,
So.
Patrick. I'll buy you a beer.
All right. Yeah. So I don't know. Quick outros for some of our recurring guests here. Eric, you spoke the once. It was beautiful.
Yeah. Hey
like
everyone.
more.
I'm Max Hayes.
No, that's who you were.
Oh yeah, that's right. These are outros. No, I am Eric Buckles, tech audio designer at Epic. Yeah, it was fun just to hang out and be a fly on the wall tonight and witness this, whatever it was. It was awesome. Pretty cool to step through it and kind of see how it was all put together. So,
Yeah.
thanks for sharing.
Yeah.
I'm glad you enjoyed the piece called Factory Settings.
Aaron.
Oh, I'm Aaron. I work at Epic for Unreal Engine stuff for audio.
Yep. David.
I guess in this episode, I was the pearl clutching music theory advocate, but
That's right.
for the most part,
Someone had to be right.
someone had to be. I just felt like that. No, but I'm tech audio designer at Sweet Justice and Weaver Audio, so doing stuff primarily in Unreal Engine YouTube space stuff, but working on a few things in the back burner as well. Nothing as cool as what I saw here today, but I have gotten tons of ideas from today. It's very cool.
Yeah, and check out David's YouTube channel. It's pretty cool. Yeah. And I have been Dan Reynolds, also audio tech enthusiast / designer, and I also work at Epic. There's too many of us, and yet not enough. I want to thank everyone for joining us. This was awesome. We had even Charles came at the very end.
Oh,
Charles.
Charles is our regular.
Yep, we
Oh
awesome.
my gosh. I gotta get
Everyone
my
was
meta sound on screen for Charles.
the chat was
Okay.
awesome today. It was very enthusiastic.
This
There
is
lots
like
of clapping.
this is like 10%
I'm just relieved that
of
our
a Charles
technical chain.
patch.
Charles, if you missed the earlier performance, you got to see it later. But
Yeah.
I'm very proud that the chain of crazy tech that we did to do this thing actually worked.
Was
I can't
quite
believe
We actually go
elaborate.
through how the
Ridiculous.
audio goes in, but oh well.
It would need to be diagrammed. People wouldn't understand it if you just described it to people. You need to sort of look at a diagram.
We should draw a signal flow diagram of
That's
how the hell
right.
we did it.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, with the Zoom remote desktop, I feel like was the was
It
where
was
it
new.
really went off, like jumped
I'm
the
glad
shark
it
a little bit.
worked. Hey, all right.
We got to do it again. We got to do
Yeah.
more things like this.
So speaking of
what you could do is like invite somebody to be the performer and not know it. That's a whole thing. You got to think that.
just surprise.
Just surprise. Like send them a link to the
For-
Zoom thing and then just
us.
start pushing buttons. You know.
So in terms of actually, so just as a quick thing, note there won't be a chat next week. I have family visiting. Sorry.
Wow.
But
I thought we were family.
Well, come on down. Come on down.
It's up for me, but it's
but yeah, we'll resume after that, and yeah, it's been awesome, everyone. Thank you all, and have a really great tech audio like week. I don't know. Is that an outro? Maybe. See y'all.
Yeah.